Good morning. So welcome to our Sunday morning stretch class. So as always, this is totally beginner friendly. It's just going to be a nice stretch to your body, just to wake you up and get you lively for this wonderful Sunday. A little bit windy out there, but the sun is shining. I hope you're all well. I'm sorry, the class I did Friday evening, again, it fell out about halfway through and I didn't even notice until the end. So I'm really sorry if you joined that class. I don't know what's going on. I've tried 2 different laptops and they just don't like to go live on YouTube. I never seem to have a problem with the Sunday morning. Touch wood, nothing happens today, but I never seem to have a problem with the Sunday morning class. It's just the evening classes. So I'm sorry if you've joined me and then halfway through the connection has gone. So, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have a nice class today and we'll get through to the end. We're going to start in child's pose to begin. And so as always, you can take your wide-legged child's pose, knees wide, or you can have your knees together. And taking the arms forward, or again, if the knees are together, you can have the arms back, forehead to the mat. We're just taking the time to ground ourselves this morning as we get settled in and prepare for our practice. So as you're here, just notice how the body feels right now. Are there any areas of tension that you're drawn to? Taking the time to notice how the mind is, whether it's busy or quiet this morning, whether it seems distracted, or is it quite focused, calm? Bringing your awareness to your breath. And just noticing this breath in your body right now. The movement from the breath. And the sound in the nose, in the throat. Does the breath feel restricted this morning, or is it moving freely through the body? And start to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. As we bring calmness to the mind and to the nervous system via the breath. By controlling the breath. And taking some deep breaths into the upper back between the shoulder blades. And then see if you can draw some width to the breath. Just opening the ribs, armpit to armpit.
And can you find a depth to the breath? From the front of the chest all the way through to the back. And if you decided to take the arms back in your child's pose, let's bring those hands forward. We'll take an inhale. And as we exhale, let's walk the hands over to the left. And as we take a little side stretch, breathing into the right side of the body. And just relaxing a little bit more with every exhale. Inhale as you bring your hands back through center. And exhale over to the right. And breathing into the left side of your body now. And feeling those ribs expand. Inhale as you draw your hands back through center. And exhale, let's bring the knees back underneath the hips if you took them wide. Or to hips width apart, I should say. So reaching those hands forward, planting the hands. And as we inhale, let's come onto the knees, working our way into a tabletop position. Send the heart forward, lifting the gaze, lifting the tailbone. And as we exhale, let's round the back and come back down into our child's pose. Inhale, moving forward. Lowering that belly button, heart moves forward, lifting the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, dropping the bum back down to your child's. And again, inhale, moving forward. Heart open, wide across the collarbones. And exhale, lowering down. Let's do two more. Inhale, moving forward. Onto those knees, lift the tailbone, looking up. Stretching those abs and exhale. Coming back down. Last one, inhale. Moving forward, lifting the gaze, heart moves forward. And exhale, come to a neutral spine now. So a little tuck, the tailbone. Just check that those fingers are spread and the shoulders are over the wrist. Wrap the triceps under. And just check those knees are hips width apart. I want you to think of your abdomen as always here. So get the abdomen on. So pull the lower ribs in. Tuck the tailbone under slightly. And feel the core working here. Stay nice and wide across those collarbones so that we're not dipping into the chest. And we'll just stay here for a moment, just breathing. Really working on that core. So it should be quite, I wouldn't say intense, maybe intense for some, but you should feel work here. So if you're not feeling work, then again, think about what the core is doing. Draw everything into the center line. Keeping that core strong. Let's start to move forwards and backwards slightly. Just working into the wrists. Nothing too crazy. And come back to center. So again, check those knees are underneath the hips. Nice and strong through the arms, press the mat away. Keeping the core on. So as always, we're going to stop this dipping into the lower back if we can help it. Keep that tailbone tucked slightly. Keep the navel to the spine. Keeping everything exactly where it is. Let's send that right foot back. Ball of that right foot onto your mat. If you feel a little bit unbalanced here, you can always bring that left knee in a little bit closer to your center line, but see how you get on. And try to resist moving over to the left here. So try to keep the weight central. Now find a nice line of energy from the crown of the head through to that back heel. Just squeeze in that right glute, squeeze in that leg. Just waking up the muscles in that right leg. Maybe pulsing back a little bit here through that right heel, if that feels good. And again, keeping everything switched on in the core, starting to lift that right leg up. Stop if you start to round into the lower back. So remember, it's not how high you get that heel, we just want to feel the work. And we'll hold it here. So again, finding that line of energy from the crown of the head through to that heel, keeping that core switched on. Good, keep the work. Keep breathing nice and deeply. Keeping the weight equal in the hands. Let's bend the right knee. So flexing that right ankle. And we're just going to do some little pulses, some little donkey kicks towards the ceiling. Keep breathing. Notice what that leg is doing. So look back. Sometimes it can be doing all sorts of crazy things. So just check your coordination. The heel is just pushing up towards the ceiling. And as you do this, just check that you don't start to dip too much into the lower back. So again, we want all the work to come from that glute. We'll pulse a little bit more. I know it's hard work, keep with it. A few more breaths. For 2. And 1. And release. Bring that right knee back down. Sit back on the heels. Take the weight off the wrists. Have a rest. Maybe move the hips from side to side if that feels good. Now working our way back into that tabletop position. So maybe you found that that back leg was doing its own thing. You couldn't control it again. Coordination comes with practice. So the more you do this kind of thing, the more it will get easier. So again, let's wrap the triceps under, nice and strong through those arms. Send that left foot back. And again, just check that you don't start to dip into that lower back. The chest is moving forward. We're pulling those lower ribs in. And just starting to wake up that left leg. So the ball of the foot is grounded. And we're really strong through that left leg here. Engage quadriceps. Engage the glute. That's the bum. And again, resisting that temptation to dip into the lower back. You're going to start to lift that left foot up. And maybe it's here, maybe it's just hovering above the mat, and that's fine. And again, if you're struggling here, if the weight keeps walking over to the right, bring that right knee in a little bit more towards your center line. That can help you a little bit here. Otherwise, just try to work your center of gravity. Good. Find that line of energy. Can you really press that left heel back? Really work the strength. Stay nice and long in the neck. So just check that you're not allowing that head to fall here. Just want to be gazing between your hands here. It's a good point of reference. And again, as you start to fatigue, sometimes you start to dip into the lower back. Again, resist. Now we're going to bend that left knee now. Heel towards the ceiling and those little pulses. Just little pulses, nothing too crazy. And just waking up the glutes, working the core strength, the lower back strength. And again, just notice how this feels in your body. Rest if you need to rest, if it becomes a little bit too much. Keep the work in the core, don't let it go. Keep pulling the lower ribs in. Easier said than done sometimes. Good, we'll go for another 3 more breaths if we can. Keep it up for 2 more breaths. Almost there. 1 more breath. And release, left knee down, sit back on the heels, take a rest. So hopefully we've woken up the legs, woken up the hips, the glutes a little bit here. There's a little bit more fire in those legs. Let's come back to a tabletop position. We'll tuck the toes under, send the hips back and up, and find downward facing dog. So pedaling the legs here, and just stretching through those legs, stretching those glutes. Your feet, hips width apart. And then find some stillness. So again, if you need to bend the knees, just get that back nice and flat. And coming onto the balls of the feet. Find a little bit of strength through those legs, lift those hips, and lowering the heels down as far as you can go. Again, you can keep the bend in the knees if you need to here. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting. Stay high on the balls of the feet. Stretching those legs, those hamstrings. Take an inhale here. And exhale, lowering those heels back down. Finding that downward facing dog. Let's walk the feet towards the hands. Keep the feet hips width apart here. Inhale, we'll find our halfway lift. Maybe we're here in our halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Just straighten the spine wherever you're at. And exhale, forward fold. Around the spine, again, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet now. Inhale as we come all the way up. Taking those arms high, finding length through the spine. Squeeze the glutes. And exhale, bring hands to your heart center. Close your eyes. And just taking a moment to notice how you feel again. Has the energy shifted from the start of the class? Has your state shifted? It's so important to change our state if we're feeling a little bit low or if we're in quite a negative state. Just change your state by doing something. And that can just be a little bit of yoga. It can be going for a walk. It can be sitting in a silent meditation.
What you mustn't do is just sit and wallow in that negative state. Allow the negative state to come, but then do something to change it. So gently opening the eyes, and let's inhale, raise our breath. Finding full extension through your spine and reach. And exhale, swan dive. Take the arms out to the side as you hinge forward from the hips and come into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And coming up to stand again, ground through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Find that extension through your spine. And exhale, folding down again. Hinge from the hips, bend the knees if you need to as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold again. Coming to stand, inhale, root through those feet, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone under, reach. And exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. And let's take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, reach, find that length through the spine. And exhale, send the hips to the right as you pull on that right wrist. And sending the hands over to the left. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy, just feeling a release through the right side of the body. Inhale to come through center. Exhale, let's switch the wrists. Take the left wrist. Inhale, reach. Find that length and exhale, hips move left. Pull on that left wrist. Staying one more breath. Stay grounded through the feet. Inhale, coming back through center. And exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, we'll step the feet back. And find downward facing dog. Let's send the right leg high as we come into our three-legged dog. As always, in our three-legged dog, we're going to try and keep the hips square. So just check that that right hip is dropping down and we're pressing back through that left thigh. Working the flexibility in that left leg, working the strength in the right leg. Let's point the toe now, and now let's open that hip up. So using the outer muscles in that right hip, in the right leg to lift the hip high, lift the leg high, and at the same time draw that right armpit down. So resist the body opening up to the right side of your mat. Come onto the ball of the left foot. Let's send that right foot a little bit higher if we can. And as we exhale, let's close the hip, bend that right knee, round through the spine as we bring that right foot through between the hands. Finding low lunge, high lunge, sorry. Runner's lunge, right knee over the ankle. Let's drop the left hand inside of that right foot. Just underneath the shoulder, so stacking the joints in that left hand, and let's reach the right arm high as we come into a little twist. Draw the navel in, and drawing the belly button back towards the spine, and opening through the chest. Drive that left hand down. Bringing the right hand back to the mat outside of the right foot. And send that right foot back to meet the left, finding your downward facing dog. Hopefully warming up a little bit now. And send that left leg high. Finding that three-legged dog left side. So again, keep that left hip down. Resist the temptation to open the hip just at the moment.
And press back through that right thigh. Finding that line of energy, pressing the hands down. Now let's point the toe and let's open that left hip up. Again, as you open up, pull that left armpit down. And I want you to really try to engage the muscles in that left leg. And then come onto the ball of the right foot. See if you can send that left foot a little bit higher. And closing the hip. As you exhale, round the spine. Draw that left thigh in. Knee comes towards the chin. And drop the left foot between the hands. Finding that high lunge position on the left side this time. So just stretching the front of that right hip. And plant the right hand down. So again, stacking the joints in that right hand as we reach the left arm high. Finding a little twist. Keep sinking those hips nice and low. Don't lose the work. And on your next exhale, bring that left hand down. Send that left foot back to meet the right. Find your downward facing dog. And as we exhale, let's drop knees to the mat. Sit back on the heels. And take a rest in your child's pose. And again, just taking the time to notice the energy change in the body during your practice. Noticing the heat of the body. Noticing if we've released a little bit of tension now from the body, from the start of the class. And lifting the gaze. Let's come back to a tabletop position. So knees underneath the hips. And again, nice and wide across the collarbones. I'm going to send that right foot back again. Pivot on that left knee. Turn the left leg out so it's parallel with the short side of the mat. Drop that right foot down. Send the hips forward. Reach that right arm high as we make our way into a variation of our side plank. Your option to hold it here. Your option, as always, to lift that right leg up if you're going well. Just resist allowing the hips to drop back. Keep pressing the hips forward here. Maybe taking that right arm overhead. Just a little bit more of a stretch through the side body here. Planting that right foot down. Coming up onto that left knee. Plant the right hand outside of the right thigh as we come into a little side stretch again. Keep the neck nice and long. Take an inhale, breathe deep into the left side of the body. And as we exhale, let's bring left hand back down, right hand down. Pivot on that knee and bring that right knee down to meet the left knee. So we're going to do some fire hydrants here on the right side. So really press down through the right hand and through the left knee. Really press. As you press down, that right knee should start to lift off the mat here. Hopefully, for most people. And we're just going to lift that right leg up so the knee stays bent. Lift the right leg up and then lower it back down. Just going to work the outer glutes. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Again, nothing too crazy. Inhale, maybe just to here. Exhale, lower down. I'm doing 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Let's hold. So 3. 2. Just check that you're not leaning out to the left.
One, and exhale, lower that right knee back down. Let's step the left foot back. And pivot on the right knee and turn that right foot out so it's parallel with the knee. Pressing the hips forward, reaching that left arm high as we find that side plank variation on the left side. And again, your option to stay here, your option if you're going well, to lift that left leg up. And again, keep pressing those hips forward. Your option to take that left arm overhead, getting a little bit more of a stretch to that side body. Keep the breath going. Planting that left foot, coming up. Left hand comes to that left thigh and reach the right arm overhead as we come into that nice side stretch again. Take a deep inhale, again breathe into the right ribs. And as we exhale, planting the right hand down. The left hand comes back down, pivot on that right knee. And the left knee comes back. So again, we're going to try those fire hydrants. So press into left hand, right knee, really firmly. As you do this, hopefully that left knee will lift off the mat a little bit here. And then keeping a right angle in the back of the knee, we'll inhale, lift that left leg up. Exhale, lower it back down. Inhale, lift. Keep the core strong. Exhale, lower. Okay, remember, it doesn't matter how high you get this leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, low. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale and hold. For 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lowering it down. Let's press those hips back over the heels and we'll take a rest in our child's pose. And lifting the gaze, walk the hands towards you, coming on into a kneeling position. We'll work into the shoulders a little bit more here. Let's take the right arm high, bend the right elbow, and take the right elbow with the left hand. Pull your elbow towards the center line of your body behind the head. So working the elbow behind the head. And just releasing tension from those shoulders and from the triceps here. Breathe in deep. So your option to stay here if you wish. Keep drawing the elbow towards your center line. Your other option is to bring that right hand down towards the top of the spine. And again, your option to stay here. Otherwise, we're going to make a bind. Release the elbow. Internally rotate that left shoulder so the back of the hand comes onto the lower back. And then walk the hand up the back. And maybe you can take a bind with the right hand. Again, depending on how tight you are in the shoulders, maybe the bind happens, maybe it doesn't. It's all good. You can use a strap if you wish, or just stay with that elbow. Stay keeping that left hand on the elbow. So nice and open through the chest. And then work those elbows as far away from each other as you can if you have the bind. Maybe pressing back with the head into the right arm. I'll stay here a couple more breaths. Feel free to release at any point if it gets a little bit too intense. And slowly releasing, taking the right arm forward across the chest. And let's hook the left arm underneath the right. So a nice little shoulder stretch again. This time working through the shoulder, working through the upper arm. Maybe you can feel it through the back. And let's drop the head over to the left. So left ear towards the left shoulder. Just letting go of any tension in the neck and the shoulders here. We'll stay a couple more breaths. Just check that we aren't lifting the shoulders towards the ears here. Just try to relax completely. And lifting the head back up and releasing. Let's take the left arm high. It's uncomfortable to sit with on your knees here. You can always straighten the legs or sit on a little chair as well while we're doing this. It's all good. Take hold of the left elbow. And again, just drawing the elbow towards the center line of your body. And just breathing into that left shoulder. Notice where the tension is. And again, if you're going well, just start to move that left hand down now towards the top of the back. Keep pulling the elbow in towards your center line. And again, your option to stay here, or your option to take your bind or to reach towards that bind. Again, it doesn't matter if you make it or not. So internal rotation in the right shoulder and taking a bind if it's available. And again, just working length into the spine, opening into the chest. And sending those elbows as far away from each other as you can if you manage to make your bind. And again, maybe pressing the head back into the lower arm of that left arm. And just noticing maybe one side is a little bit more tense than the other. It's all good. And slowly, slowly releasing. Bring the left arm across the body. Hook the right arm underneath the left now. As we continue to stretch through the shoulders and the neck. So again, dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder if that feels good. Nice deep breaths into the upper back, into the shoulder. Every exhale, you release a little bit more tension. And bringing head back to center, releasing. Let's interlace fingers and inhale. Let's reach those arms high. Open through the abdominals, open through the spine. And exhale, releasing those hands down. Let's swing those legs around. Straighten the legs. And let's make our way into a simple forward fold. Sit on a pillow, a block, or a cushion, blankets if you need to. Just start to fold forward from your hips. Just be mindful that we're not rounding into the upper back so much here. Keep the back straight. So all the work goes into your hamstrings here. And draw the navel back towards the spine. Again, it doesn't have to be too deep. And use the breath. With every inhale, find a little bit more length, a little bit more open into the chest. And with every exhale, just see if you can press a little bit deeper. Just see if you can engage the quadriceps a little bit here. And don't allow yourself to press too much into the backs of the knees. Keep a subtle knee bend. Press through the balls of the feet as well. So you're engaging the feet, engaging the lower legs.
We'll stay here a few more breaths. And then your next inhale, coming back up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together as we make our way into our Baddha Konasana, our cobbler's posture. So if you're sitting on a block or on a cushion, you can stay there. I'm just taking hold of the feet, and let's just butterfly the legs a little bit here. And then finding stillness. So see if you can engage your glutes and use that glute strength to draw the knees down. If you're going well, start to open the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and really try to straighten through the spine. So if the chest is starting to collapse, see if you can send that heart forward and press the heart over the feet. Hopefully you'll feel it work a little bit more into the adductors on the inside of the legs, on the thighs. And we'll just stay here. If those knees are high, you can use the elbows on the thighs to help them down. But I really want you to focus on using the glutes to get those knees down. So rather than pushing or forcing from the inside of the legs, notice what's happening. Notice what muscles you're using on the outsides of the legs. And we'll stay here a few more breaths. And inhale. Moving back to an upright position, let's bring the left hand behind the back. We'll take the right hand onto that left knee as we come into a little twist. Inhale to find length and exhale, twisting. And just shifting the gaze back over that left shoulder. Just being mindful that you're staying nice and long through the neck. You're not overly twisting the neck. And inhale, coming back through center, coming to the other side. Left hand reaches for that right knee, right hand behind the back. Inhale, find length, and exhale. Little twist, nothing too crazy. And inhale, coming back to the front. Exhale, releasing. Let's swing the left leg back as we find our swan pose. So bringing the right knee more towards the center line of your mat now. Just working through the front of this left hip and working into the glutes in that right hip. We've used them quite a lot in this session. So I really want you to think about drawing that left hip down. So really trying to get the hips pointing towards the top of your mat. And you can use a cushion underneath that right thigh if it's lifting up quite a lot here. And stay on the hands, you can be on the fingertips if you wish here. Just work the chest open and work the shoulder blades down the back. And we're going to stay here. We're going to work into it a little bit today. So I want you to flex the right ankle a little bit, press into the ball of the right foot. Your intention to lift the outside of that right ankle off the mat a little bit here. And that will bring some energy, some engagement into that right leg. And keep sinking those hips nice and low every exhale. See if you can press that left hip a little bit lower. See if you can find that length all the way from that left thigh
up through the hip flexor, up into the abdominals. Can you open through the chest a little bit here, almost coming into a back bend. So find the very bottom of your scapula, your shoulder blades, and send them forward. Just making those back muscles work a little bit here. And releasing it. Switch legs. Bring hands onto the mat. Just tucking the back toe under. Send the right foot back. And then bring the left knee forward. And again, keep the heel close to the right hip. So in our swan pose rather than our pigeon pose here. It's a little bit nicer on the knees. And again, feel free to use a cushion underneath that left thigh if it's lifting up a little bit here. And again, your intention to start to roll that right hip forward and down. Trying to get those hips nice and square to the top of your mat. Use the hands to find a little bit of length through the front of the body. And then look at that left foot. See if you can flex the ankle a little bit here. Press through the board of the left foot. Intention to lift the outside of that left ankle off the mat. So again, this is going to build strength through your ankles, strength through the feet, and through the lower leg here. It's also going to engage this left leg, this left hip a little bit more at the same time as stretching it. And again, really feel the work through the front of that right thigh. Through the quadriceps, through the hip flexors. Feel it coming up through the abdominals, into the chest. Find the lower part of the scapula, the shoulder blades, and send them forward. Engaging through that upper back. Good. Breathe in. So swan pose. Hopefully we look like nice little swans on the canal or on the river. Does a swan look like this? Maybe it does. We'll stay here a few more breaths, feeling as elegant as a swan. You know, for some of you, and for me this morning, it's quite an intense posture for me this morning. And we'll release. Let's bring tuck the back toes under, lift the right knee up. Let's send that left foot back. And let's lower down onto our bellies. You can drop knees first or come through Chaturanga if you've got the energy for a Chaturanga this morning. And let's work a little bit more into the upper back. So coming into our Sphinx. The shoulders over the elbows, or those elbows forward. You can have elbows in line with the shoulders or a little bit wider if that feels a little bit more comfortable for your shoulders, if you're quite wide across those shoulders. And just relax the glutes. Let's get the feet strong. So press the tops of the feet into the mat. And again, find the very bottom of your shoulder blades and send them forward. Find those muscles in the upper back. If you're going well here, option to come into seal pose. So stay where you are. If not, you don't have to come into this posture. Otherwise, the hands coming onto the hands and opening the chest a little bit more here. Working through the upper back, and it's going to start to send it into the lower back as well a little bit. If it's a bit pinchy, then just stay with the previous posture. Just draw the shoulders away from the ears. Stay nice and open through the chest. And let's exhale, lower back down. We'll bring the hands by the chest and we'll send the hips towards the heels and find child's pose.
And again, as you're in your child's pose, just taking the time to ground again, to notice how you feel. And lifting the gaze. Let's come back forward. Let's come back onto our bellies. Let's bring the hands by the chest this time. Draw the elbows in towards each other. Open through the chest, send the heart forward. And we'll find a little baby cobra. Again, just really working the upper back muscles. Draw the shoulder blades together and down. Stay long through the neck. And lowering down on your next exhale, press back. Let's bring the hips over the knees. Check the knees or hips width apart. Let's walk the hands forward this time as we make our way into puppy pose, extended puppy pose. Again, now we're stretching through those shoulders again, through the upper back. And keep the arms strong if you can. So really press the hands down, wrap the triceps under, and elevate through the shoulder blades. So as if you're trying to bring the arms towards the head. So you won't be going as low in this variation of puppy, but it's going to be working the shoulder strength as well as the flexibility at the same time. See if you can tuck the tailbone under a little bit here. See if you can find a little bit more work in the upper back, in the shoulders. And now your option to just release. So to allow the chest to sink down now. It can be quite an intense posture. If it's too intense, feel free to sit back in extended child's pose. And again, just really feel the upper back working. Use the muscles in the upper back to draw yourself into that back bend shape. We'll stay here a few more breaths if you can. Every exhale, just allowing the body to sink a bit deeper, to relax a bit more. And slowly, slowly, walking the hands back towards you. Let's sit back, let's bring the knees together. Bring the forehead to the mat, take the arms back. And just allow those shoulders to fall. As we come into our child's pose. And lifting the gaze. We'll make our way to a seated position. You can swing the legs around, cross the legs over, sit back. Whenever it feels good for you to come to seated. Just a simple cross-legged position now. Let's bring hands onto the knees. Sitting nice and tall. Again, you can be sitting on a block or a cushion. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just drop the chin towards the chest. Just stretching the muscles in the upper back. And also, this is engaging our bandha, our Jalandhara bandha, the throat lock. So as you do this, I want you to draw the navel in You're going to engage your Uddiyana Bandha and see if you can lift your pelvic floor, engaging your Mula Bandha. The eyes closed. And deep breathing. And just allowing that energy to settle. And just keeping the focus on the breath. And just knowing that you can come to the breath at any point in your daily life. Just to center yourself and to calm the mind. Just gently lift the gaze or bring the feet onto the mat and knees bent. So feet hips width apart. Now we're just going to start to tuck the tailbone under. You can keep hold of the knees here if you wish. Just finding a point that starts to work your core a little bit here. And let's hold. Let's keep breathing. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly, with control, lowering all the way down onto your back. Reach the arms overhead. Straighten the legs. And take a nice stretch. And making our way into our final posture, Shavasana. Take your heels wide. Shoulder blades under the back. As always, your option to find a reclined Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. If you feel you need a little bit more opening in those hips. Soften the forehead and the face. Allow the body to melt into your mat. And return to normal breathing. And with every exhale, just allow the body to soften a bit more. Allow yourself freedom from things that no longer serve you. And be confident on your path. And just know that wherever you are on your yoga journey or in your daily life, you're exactly where you need to be. And when you feel that you're alone in your struggles, just know that we all go through those same struggles. And just know that you're not alone. We're all just trying to find our path through life. There's always your option to stay in this shavasana and this stillness for as long as you need. Otherwise, take in a few deep inhales. Appreciating that breath. Appreciating the calmness in the body. And beginning to wiggle the fingers and toes. And maybe taking another deep stretch. Maybe drawing yourself into a little ball, giving yourself a hug. Showing yourself love first and foremost in this life. We can't love others until we first love ourselves completely. Rock into your right hand side when you're ready. Blinking the eyes open and joining me again in a comfortable seated cross-legged position. We'll bring our hands into Anjali Mudra. Let's reconnect with the breath. We'll finish with a sacred sound Om and 3 shantis. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hare Om. Raising our hands to our heads for kindness in our thoughts, to ourselves and others, to our hearts for kindness in our actions, and to our lips for kindness in our words. From my heart to your heart, always. Namaste. Thank you for joining me this morning or this afternoon or wherever you're watching this video. I hope you feel a little bit more open and energized. So this Sunday morning, the Sunday morning live is going to be a constant. It's going to change during the weeks depending on my private classes. So I'm going to post the schedule for the next live classes for the next week tonight. So have a look on my Instagram, my Facebook to find out about those. Maybe I'm going to do some morning classes in the week as well. So let me know if that's something that you want. Didn't see these messages coming through. Oh, thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Adrian, and thank you, Sally. Oh, lovely. So yeah, I mean it's good to do yoga first thing in the morning. I know it can be a little bit
your body's a little bit more tight, but it is the best time to do yoga. So I'm thinking about adding a couple of morning classes in the week. So probably about 8 o'clock. So it's not too early, no 6 o'clock or 5:30, no India style yoga classes. Just an 8 o'clock, so you can get a bit of a yoga practice in maybe a 45 minutes, so you've got a little bit of time before you start work at 9. I know some of you are still at home, some of you are maybe back to work now. So yeah, look out for them. Like I said, I'll post it on social media this evening. I think that's it. Please like the video if you liked it. Please share the video. The ones that fail when I've gone live, I never post. I just remove them because they're just terrible quality and I don't want to put terrible quality videos on there. So if you enjoyed that, the half of the class that we did on Friday, I'll try and do that, the same kind of structure of class within the week. And yes, please donate if you're financially stable enough to donate. Like I say, I'm starting doing classes now outdoors, so it's good. I've got some money coming in, and hopefully the studios can open soon because I really want to get back to work. It's really frustrating, but yeah, it is what it is. This is what life's all about. Just rolling with those waves. But yes, I hope you're all well. And I hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather that we've been having. It's always a positive, isn't it, to have nice weather? It would have been terrible if it had been raining the whole time during lockdown. So yes, stay safe, stay sane, and hopefully I'll get to see some of your faces really, really soon. Love to you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Peace, peace, peace.